So, hey guys, as promised, I was going to do a VOD review of my own with you guys there to be able to see it. Now, I'm not sure if ESL is okay with me doing this because I'm going to be kind of ripping one of our own VODs and talking over it as well. This is going to be from the EMS1 Katowice in 2014. It's between LGB Esports and Fnatic. Those two did go head-to-head, I believe it was around the quarterfinals. And I'm going to go from the first map. We're going to see how the introduction goes. I'm casting with Heaton in this one. And then we're going to transition into the game, and we're going to go through maybe just one of the halves and just pick out things that I do for my own reviews normally, and I want your feedback as well, obviously, guys at home. So do get involved. I do like hearing from you guys. I'm a little tired here, so you're going to have to bear with me, but you can see the process that I go through when I'm doing my own reviews, and I think maybe it'll be of interest to you, maybe not, but it's up to yourself. So we're going to dive into this one and get it underway. So, there is the beautiful Sascoot and Cadian. And I want to get sure the volume's right, so let me just test this out. It's the first time I'm trying it.
To Pansy and Heaton right now.
Here we go.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Scoots, and I think he said it perfectly. I am joined by the ever delightful Heaton. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
It is good to have you here. You know, we were lacking a little bit of analysis. We dragged in MBK before.
Wow. Wow. Hey. Hey, ESL. Hashtag production value. Clearly the mic's having a couple of issues there, so we'll just roll with it. We'll keep going.
You know, let's get someone who's still within the tournament, basically. You know, we've got to get someone relevant, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting game with two Swedish teams coming in here. I know quite a lot about both teams, and one thing I'm pretty much wondering about is, I mean, Fnatic, they have the experience. They have Karn, just like Sir Scoot said, behind them, who can keep them calm. They have the experience being on stage. While you look at LGB, who, in my opinion, are a more skilled team than Fnatic at the moment. I think if this game would have been played up in the tournament area, or not the tournament area, but the so-called gym, where the group stage matches were played, I think LGB would have won with no problem, especially since...
Alrighty. For starters, this guy is sick to cast with. He's already given great background, so I'm not just going to be doing my analysis. I think my introduction was fine. I mostly wanted Heaton to kind of introduce why he was there about, his thoughts towards it. I thought he'd be probably the best commentator to join us on this one. Obviously two Swedish teams, so you'll have the relevant understanding. And because I knew Fnatic quite well, but LGB obviously is they're fairly new to the upper tier of the scene to an extent. At Katowice, getting to the quarterfinals was very impressive. I thought I'd let him mostly explain this because coming from me, it's not as relevant or as applicable, but obviously him explaining it, he can do a vastly better job. So most of this is just me handing to him. I'll probably take it back over, maybe to do, you know, get involved on Twitter, let me know your predictions, Joe, the general kind of hosty-ish thing. But for now, I think it's mostly about Heaton, you know, his predictions, where he thinks he's going to go, what's his strengths, and he's doing that so well right now. So let's head back in.
Fnatic looked pretty weak, but now it's a stage, it's crowded with people. And I don't know if LGB ever played on a stage before like this. I don't think they do. So it kind of comes down to how they cope with playing under pressure. If they can handle it, I think it's going to be a somewhat easy win for LGB.
Wow.
But yeah,
that's quite a decisive call as well. Obviously, you know the Swedish scene pretty much inside out by this point, and NIP considered the top Swedish team quite happily. But you know, it's hard to kind of define who's in the lineup here. But individual skill-wise, I think you're right in saying LGB, and they performed a lot better through the groups, finishing top in theirs. And Fnatic kind of struggled a bit against Reason and a couple of the teams having very...
So basically at this point, I wanted to kind of justify some of the points he brought up a little, just from not my prep, it's more just taking notice of the tournament. So it's nothing in depth, it's still very generic. It's very like, well, you said these guys were individually skilled as a collective towards LGB. Let me back that up with, but they did, you know, they did well in groups and they came out top in their group, etc., etc. Whereas Fnatic, that you said probably are the more experienced team on the stage, but had been struggling, obviously had a little bit of trouble in groups. So it's more just me, yes, I'm repeating in a way, but it's more just to kind of reaffirm the statement that Heaton made. So let's go back in and see what we're doing.
Very close results. You know, what's happened with Fnatic there? You know, they did so well at DreamHack. People put up maybe a fluke. And now they're kind of slacking a little bit.
I think we saw that the DreamHack Invitational as well. They weren't up to pair like they were playing on DreamHack, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can turn this around in the playoffs here.
Certainly.
Okay, so we're into the game now. I'm not going to come back to camera at all. We're just going to watch this through. I've cut it off there. I think we did a nice bit of intro. I actually quite like that between us. And now I'm going to just critique my casting mostly. And I'll be very honest with you guys, if I don't like what I'm saying, I will happily let you guys know at home. And now we'll see the process. So CT side being LGB, Fnatic being on the T side. I can imagine personally, I'll just do play-by-play through this, and then maybe leave a question at the end for Heaton to come in on. But we'll see how it goes.
So I do believe we are underway here. Obviously on the T side, it will be Fnatic, LGB on the CT side. And it looks like Fnatic are going to be hitting up that B side first of all. Crims will be laying in wait. He does have side with him, but this has been a swift move from Pronax there, literally taking over the site in one move.
Yeah, I mean,
see, for me, maybe a little bit too excited by Fnatic, or maybe a little bit too, to a point. But I think that was a good opening. They basically got the bomb site in hand. And I think if I left this now to Heaton to kind of talk until the CT's got to the challenge, I think it'd be a good point. Maybe he can just reaffirm what Fnatic was doing, why they went for this maybe.
This is going to be really, really tough for for LGB to come into 3 versus 5 after planting beats. Pretty much first way possible, or maybe not.
They're proving you wrong, player by player. Twist and Olaf there picking up a kill each, and they've got their way into the site, but still Fnatic very much pressured. Schneider still up, finding Twist, and there we go. Flasher kicks into gear, and this looks like it is going to be a Fnatic first round. And what is the importance of this?
Well, basically,
I think my play-by-play at the end of that was a little shaky. I think I was worried that Heaton wouldn't pass off when they started to play for the retake. He did in the end, which was perfect. It was just, I'd never casted him before, so I can tell the way I picked it back up from his sentence. I was like, oh shit, I need to recap these and these. I could have probably slowed down a little, and just maybe rather than just saying X killed Y, I should have been maybe saying, the CTs have split 2 through, the main entrance, 1 through construction, and blah, 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 this guy got this frag, and kind of slow myself down a little. Obviously, I am also casting to the audience out there, so I do hype up some moments that may not warrant it, but I think then I was just a little bit nervous about the handoff stage from Heaton, which he nailed, to be fair, so I had no real reason to be worried.
Fnatic been playing very shaky in the group stage, getting this start on stage, getting the motivation up, getting into the game early, and that can be really, really beneficial for them, considering LGB is probably going to be really nervous playing in front of all those people, and getting a bad start. If we see them losing the first weapon round as well, I think it might haunt them for quite some time in this game before they actually start getting into it.
See, and I'm hoping that I picked up on that they might have been nervous, because, for me, to give personalities to these teams is really important. To give not just this is this player's name. It's about that player, how they're feeling, how they're doing, and I hope I bring it up maybe in this round or the next. Another maybe later down in the game. If there's a mistake made, is it down to those nerves? Is it down to that crowd that Heaton just pointed out? Obviously, the gun round now coming in going to be quite important for Fnatic there, but still we're seeing the Deagles coming out. No CZs back this point, but still let's stick on board.
And also you can see there's some thoughts I had that as playing CT pistol round, I mean the first half on the first map, you can't just stand and wait for them because your aim is going to be cold, and it's suicide because they take over the bomb site and then it's GG pretty much.
Well, let's see if the CT side can maybe get a little bit of fire going behind them, because as you said, they're being quite passive at the moment. Actually, Sype and Crims both sitting quite far back. They're not really getting aggressive. They're seeming to kind of take the time. They've picked up a couple of Deagles as well. Let's see if that comes through. Flusher just testing out the B side again. It worked so well before, but the bomb's being left quite far back. Do you think Fnatic are just taking their time here?
Yeah,
I'm talking too quickly right now. I should slow myself down. I should pace it more as a conversation with Heaton until the action starts, because at the moment, we're 1 minute into this now. Pretty much got 1 minute for this round to play out. They've pushed them up to B. Not much has really happened. I think I'm trying to over talk it a little bit in hope that maybe I'm just not too comfortable leaving it fully to Heaton yet, but he's doing such a good job. I should be just leaving it to him, explaining maybe, well, it looks like they're considering B as the next site. They'd easily win this one out, but obviously the Deagles are there, so there could still be some damage coming through, but the head armor in place, obviously going to be favouring Fnatic in this instance. Maybe just slow myself down, be a little less afraid of dead air, but let's see how we play this through.
Definitely should. I mean, considering how dangerous the so-called eco rounds are nowadays, you see, I mean, the win percentage on it is huge, and I love it, but they really need to take care and do it slowly together.
Yeah, Flusher received a big bit of damage. I think you're perfectly right in saying that. So he's going to have to fall back a touch here. I think he actually switched out his AK for a Galil in the mix. So Flusher now has to be a little bit more careful. Pronax is pushing in, and actually Sype picked up the kill. Devilwalk finally replies. But that B side is not a walk in the park for Fnatic. They are finally through, but look at their HP. They are low here. Do you think LGB could turn this?
Yeah, I think actually they should. If they don't get a fast kill here, they should go for exit frags. Right now, but considering they communicate so well, so they know that a lot of people are low in the team, so they could go for it. If they got a quick kill there, they can go for, like, yeah, then it's 3-on-3, you can get a weapon or two, and then start picking them off one by one. But yeah, right now when they don't get it, just go for exits.
Now, you did highlight earlier that the big factor here is going to be LGB's nerfs, pretty much.
So I'm glad they brought that back up. It was a really good point from Heaton. I wanted to make sure, I can imagine that, you heard me talk about it earlier to you guys once we were paused. I'm glad I brought that up. I'm hoping the point's actually worthwhile. I'm just leaving it in the air, because we know that Olive is going for the exit frags, as Heaton pointed out. I don't think I need to talk over it. He's already set it up enough, so...
At what point, wow, at what point do you think we'll see that nervousness go through? Will it be the weapon round coming up, possibly?
I think so as well. I mean, what I would do as LGB right now, I would do something. I wouldn't just stand on a standard CT setup at this point. I would do something aggressive. I mean, at least take aggressive shot in the beginning of round 2, kind of get into the flow. Just standing there waiting, it's suicide, because you're going to be cold after those rounds, and, you know, try to get into game mentally. That's really important for them, and hopefully do something crazy, get an entry frag or something. So.
And that would really shake Fnatic to the core, considering they had a very bad group stage in, you know, comparison to, let's say, DreamHack. They, you know.
I need to stop saying you know. That's one of my filling words. When I don't... It's just something that I repeat consistently. It's something that I personally need to stop doing in my cast. That's something I need to make note of.
A big aggressive push that really catches them off guard would probably shake them quite badly, but we are seeing Fnatic once again trying out this B-side. Flusher, Schneider, and Pronax all testing the waters. Flusher's gonna find Crims, and you know, it's not going too well yet, and Flusher now looking for more. He's gonna be edging in with that Glock. Schneider dropping up the smoke. Actually, Flusher's just going for it himself. He's only got 5 HP, but through the smoke, and just that spam paying through here. Twist does get one back, but it's just
a little too overexcited, but, you know.
It's left in a 1v4. There's not much to do here.
Yeah,
really.
really nice play by Pronax there, running in with only his pistol there, spamming through smoke, having some luck, but doing a great job there. You can see the rotation from LGB was actually coming in there, but it was in vain, considering getting taken down so fast there.
Sure. Now, quick question. You know, Fnatic's playstyle on Inferno. What are you reading into this? Do they look confident? Do they look, you know, fairly normal? Are they playing very standard here?
Yeah, I think so far they look pretty confident. But then again, it was a fast push B, getting into entries there, and then it's been anti-eco rounds, even though they're dangerous. I think we're going to see it the first weapon round or the first 2 weapon rounds, pretty much how confident they are. If they manage to win this one, though, I think they're going to be pretty much in the flow, and LGB might start choking.
I really want these guys to do well. They perform so well through the groups, and you know they look good. They were able to take a map off NIP back in DreamHack. You know, they are such a talented side. So I'm hoping we can see a little bit of that magic coming through here. Obviously, very early days. We're only into round 3, so we can't take too much from this. Obviously, when you don't pick up that pistol, you're going to be down a couple of rounds. Yeah. And obviously another one on the board here for Fnatic. Just to remind you of the scores so far, Schneider doing really nicely for himself, 6-0. Flusher 4-1. All of them performing quite nicely. To be fair, LGB are getting a couple of kills here and there. We saw the impact that they can have. They took a blow, but this is the important round. Now, how do you think Fnatic's going about this? You know, they've been kind of hitting up that B side constantly here. Even Devil was trying to get the opening every now and then. Is it going to be the same thing?
Well, basically, of course, since they had a day off, those 2 teams have been spending, I would say, like 10, or not 10s, but like 5 hours at least, looking at just how they play. So it's going to be mind games right now. How do the others play? Do they dare play in their own game, or are they going to mix it up, considering they know what we're doing? So it kind of comes down to that.
Well, we are seeing a little bit of a difference. It looks like Fnatic are looking maybe a little bit more towards A. They've left Flusher by B. Twist is in a great spot here. He could really catch out Fnatic if he plays this right. You can see on the X-ray there, 4 players near or next to him.
I'm trying to slow my pace down a little bit because I want to build up the tension, because he is behind 3 of them. And I think I could have done it more. I maybe should have mentioned it earlier to build up the pace and slow myself down even further. But I think that this sounds okay so far.
3 in the apartments. Spotted Schneider takes a shot. He's got to expect more. Oh, he looked the wrong way. Devil was there. And now we do see Fnatic keeping hold of the apartments now. Olaf and Dennis, the last 2 towards A. Olaf now can't quite hold on either. JW just powering forward. Dennis now, last man in the line. He's got to pick these up. Oh, beautiful play from Dennis. 2 kills back to back. Sight finds 1. Now just Flusher standing. Is this the aggressive nature that we wanted to see from LGB here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was a bit worried in the start when Twist, he probably could have kept his nerve and waiting to see another one before they started fire, because they had no clue where it was. Then Dennis.
I think, though, even in the pushes, I could mention a lot more about map positioning. So if this was just an audio cast, it would be atrocious. Obviously, these days I've gotten lazy because of the video element to it, but I think I should mention a little bit more towards where they're playing to, where's their focus. You know, it's these sort of options I should probably be explaining as they're making their move, and try and focus on that a touch more, because at the moment I think I'm using the pace correctly for these. I feel like that was okay, but it's more, I'm not describing what they're doing, where they're pushing to, where they're coming from. You know, are those flashes in place? Are the smokes coming in? Why is this worked for them? Like, I don't want to go into the territory of analysis at all, because Heaton is doing so well at the moment. But I think I could certainly bring a little more to it, maybe to set him up a little better and tell the story a little more.
Who's been playing so good throughout this tournament, coming in with 2 huge frags there, turning the round around.
Very important stuff here, and he will find the third.
Yeah, I mean, it was
wow.
That through the whole group stage and doing that again. So it's, I mean, that's the thing you need to get into this game. Having somebody doing a hero round like that and just keep on rolling from that one. Really important round for LGB.
I was about to say, you know, you told us earlier, LGB depending on getting, you know, confident on stage, feeling comfortable, and that round is probably just going to give them such a boost. You know, their key player stepping up again. We are seeing a very similar start from Fnatic here. Do you think they're going to try the same thing, or maybe switch up a little later?
Well, basically, if you look at Fnatic, they kind of play so all the rounds look the same in the start, so people aren't supposed to read what they're doing. It's really smart that they're doing, and I think Pronax and Karn are doing a great job with their tactics. So basically, LGB is never going to be able to know what they're doing before the attack actually comes, unless they get an entry or something.
Twist isn't in the apartment, so you know, maybe there's going to be a little bit more play on the site from LGB. They might not lose a player so early on. JW's already received a little bit of damage.
Definitely need to slow down here. Now, okay, let me explain a little bit to you guys. The screen you guys see is not what we see. So we have a 3-screen setup. I might be able to show you at some point what we actually cast with. In the middle is what we call program, which is basically the live stream and feed that you guys see. That was actually coming from Steel. He's our observer at this event. That's his screen, which is what you're watching. But on our 2 screens, we have the game ourselves as well. So we can, you know, put on, not auto-directed because it's not, because we're live on the servers, but we could follow their own action or leave the map up, etc. And I think I was looking at that because I was getting excited when really what we're watching is Olaf, and it's a little slower. I shouldn't have been building up, even though Twist got a kill. I shouldn't have been building up yet.
It's not too much, but Twist has found Devil with this time. Let's see if he can follow up with maybe a second rather than just being taken down so early on. But Fnatic might need to weigh up their options here. Looks like they're backing up the site.
Yeah, and actually we can see that they have a really good setup towards B.
Definitely should have been slower then. They weren't going to go for the full execution. Didn't mention the rotate either.
They can't attack since it's smoked, and yeah.
Not that much time left as well. Let's bear in mind, you know, 35 seconds. They're going to have to commit to this. Pronax is kind of edging in. Crims quickly adapting with the flash, trying to drop that one over. Give a couple of seconds more towards the LGB side, but Pronax pushes in, finds Crims. Side now has the action over.
Wow. Dem VoDs
has found Flusher, so bring it back to a 4v3 in favor to LGB, and this is nicely played from these guys. Schneider's gone down. Just JW and Pronax standing. JW is still over by A. Pronax, the last man on the side, that can be fully defused with JW not even being near it. Dennis going to cover off, and JW saving that gun.
Yeah, and I was actually a bit worried because LGB, they know that they're attacking B there, even though they're like 5 versus 4. They should have rotated the guy closer towards B there, and the guy who was standing outside towards C spawn should have rotated into the hallways, because he's basically gone. They're gonna flash him away 100%. So he's basically doing nothing, allowing Fnatic to run up versus 1 player on the site, and that's how you throw around. Luckily, they did some nice shots there, but in general, that's pretty sloppy play, I would say.
Do you think that's maybe because they're still quite a new team, essentially? You know, they're not as maybe founded as Fnatic or your NIPs. There's still a couple of mistakes, and maybe having a manager like yourself or a captain who can look over their shoulder and say, actually, guys, come on, that was a weak point there. Yeah, could really help them.
Definitely. I mean, they're a somewhat new team as well. And
so I know I'm not relevant to the round yet, but I'm just trying to buy time. I'm not sure quite what they're going to do in this round. I should have probably mentioned how much pressure Fnatic are building towards B. Normally, as we've noticed, they do that very standardized start, as Heaton mentioned, where they won't give away the game, but they put a lot of players on towards that banana. I should have probably mentioned that a little early on, but I thought to give a little bit of background to this, so that kind of makes sense, but I think I could have maybe focused towards where the push is happening.
I mean, that's something that takes years to practice to make it flawless in every map, and I mean, we're not doing it yet either, so it's like...
Certainly takes time, but you can see the likes of Devil barking out the orders on your screen in the bottom right there. He looks pretty focused, actually. At the very start today, I saw him walking down the corridor, completely focused stare towards this game. But we are seeing you know, finally, Fnatic with the opening shot here. Olaf has gone down. Sype and Crim's left by B, Dennis and Twist over by A.
See, that pace is much better. I should have been maintaining this sort of talking pace at the very start. And then when obviously the action kicks off, ramp up a little more, but I need to slow myself down.
It looks like they're kind of weighing up their options, Fnatic.
And this because I'm not sure what they're actually going to do here. When I ever say the words, you know, they're weighing up their options, they're testing the water, all these different kind of filling phrases, I'm just trying to work out where I think that, you know, hit's going to come towards. I might even ask Heaton, you know, where do you think they're going to take this in a second? I'm not sure, though.
They've done the similar start. As you said, they like to kind of do the same thing, you know, very, you know, similar aspects. Flusher over by that B side, up Banana. The rest of them kind of round A. I'm curious where they're going to commit here, because that bomb still in the hands of Pronax, not quite found its place, but you can see they are actually edging into a, you know, couple of players, but the bomb's not there. Do you think this is a B push?
Yeah, this is me not sure what they're playing with. You know, obviously the tactics are coming into place. The smokes coming through towards A. One place down, I can imagine, from the CTs towards B. I should have probably asked Heaton earlier, maybe what the strategy was, because I started to see them building towards A, so I was like, oh, okay, they're going to start pushing. But they didn't. I should have read, you know, the smokes. I should have read everything else. So this is why I ask him now, though.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, for LGB, it's a real tough situation because you either need to take 2 guys towards B or leave 1 guy behind there, so it's kind of a gamble.
So we are now seeing just 3 players left for the LGB side, but to be fair, they were by B. Sype and Crim still standing, and actually we're seeing Fnatic going all the way back around towards A. Dennis is making his way through, but can he get there in time? That's 5 players to take down, let's bear in mind.
Yeah, I think if actually Dennis managed to take down the bomb, they're going to get real dangerous since we have 7-6 left.
Wow. That is perfect play already. Sadly, the bomb was not in the hands of the player he took down. That is now down and ticking. Leaving it at 2v3, still quite possible, I'd say. It's not, you know, beyond the realm of capability, but do you think, you know, LGB are going to go for this?
No.
Definitely not, as they run away.
You can call me the CS Oracle. No, I'm just kidding. Just sort of. No, I don't think that's a smart idea. I mean, considering they don't have too much money at the moment, they will be able to buy next round.
I think if I'm going to make these statements of I should have probably opened it with, is there a possibility of them actually going to go for this year? What would be the reasons they'd play to try and retake that site? Rather than me going, oh, are they going to go for it? Because it makes me sound like I don't know what's going on with the money, with the current kind of economy on the CT side. And I think I could probably phrase it better to a co-caster to let them explain a little sooner, because it was quite obvious once they got towards CT actually they weren't going to go for it. I should have probably said earlier on. So it looks like LGB are going to back away, or something like that. LGB are backing away. What would be the reasons they'd actually commit towards taking that A site at this point? What would be the impact of that? You know, this is the sort of questions I should be asking. I think maybe a little weak on that myself.
I mean, it's gonna be a tight game, so saving your weapons. When it's 2 versus 3, the bomb is down. The T's have a lot of time to take good after plant position. It should be impossible to win it, unless somebody's making, you know, highlight clip or something. I mean, something amazing. But in general, it should be really hard.
And looking currently at the scoreboard, it's all even for LGB. Everyone on 4 players, excluding Crims on 0 to 4. So I'm kind of hoping he picks something up here, because as soon as you get in that kind of score in your hands, you start, you know, really getting nervous in front of a crowd like that.
I'm just doing filler here.
Like, oh, Jesus Christ, you know, this is the one time I really want to perform. So hopefully you can kind of get on the scoreboard. We've got a big bike coming in. First time we're seeing Dennis with the AWP here. So kind of curious to see how this one comes into play and see what he can do with it, really. This time, early grenades going down by Banana. Maybe Crimson Co. not happy with allowing Flusher, Pronax, and Schneider such free reign there. They have done a good bit of damage.
Yeah, they have. Flusher's kind of hurt, and he's probably the guy you want to hurt together with JW if you're going to hurt somebody in Fnatic.
Let's see how much that comes into effect here. LGB not playing as passively this time, quite aggressively, you know, willing to peek here and taking on Pronax. Gotta be a little bit careful. 1 minute and 8 left on the board. No real commitment from Fnatic yet. They're still taking their time, testing the waters. We are getting a little bit of spray down sight.
Testing the waters. I can tell you my standard phrases when I'm not sure where they're going to commit to. I'm not sure where they're going to go for. You know, I saw them going for the smoke. They now got the tag on towards Sype. Are they going to commit here? I should probably
taken down solo, 22 HP, fly down here, and will they go for it? Pronax again, that bomb leaving Flusher once again by Banana. Over to where we go, but Twist, Olaf, and Dennis look fairly set up here.
Yeah. I mean, what pretty much you want to do in that sense is to force the CTs to leave 2 players inside the B bomb site. They succeeded with that, but so now it's going to be 3 people on A, so it should be a bit easier to attack than it's 4.
Well, Twist has found the first on the Pronax. Dennis having to back away with the ult after missing that first shot. Fnatic pushing through. 3 kills back-to-back. Twist, Olaf, and Dennis down. A is open for the taking, and the B players nowhere to be found.
Nah, I mean, that's a really good round by Fnatic there, because they managed to hurt.
See, I think my hype was okay then. It was a very well-executed round from Fnatic. I don't think I overstretched. Maybe a little bit topped out on some of the recaps, but I'm a play-by-play caster. I'm casting to an audience there. I think that was okay. Maybe could have switched up a little more. It'd probably been good to actually watch those guys as they pushed in. But then again, Dennis did have the AWP. It did make sense. But yeah, I think that was a well-casted round at the end.
So much inside B, so they're forced to stand on defensive position inside B. They're not even close to being able to rotate towards the A-bomb sites. And when they're pushing there, that's the whole goal with Fnatic taking over the banana there. Unless they get an entry, obviously they're going to rush in. But they managed to keep them away. And then they attacked the A-bomb side. 3 people there, 3 versus 5. It's quite doable, and they managed to do it. Devil Walk with a really nice headshot, taking out Dennis there, who's standing with AWP. That's the key kill for the whole round.
Brilliantly played, and I got to ask you the question, does this look like a slightly more dangerous Fnatic? We thought this might be a little bit more LGB-sided.
Yeah, definitely.
Currently, Fnatic are looking quite good. Flusher did find Sype in the end, but this is still early doors, obviously. This is still a very early game with a first map, and everyone expected to go to 3. Yeah. Do you think Inferno is going to be a Fnatic map overall?
I would say, looking at this beforehand, I would say it's the LGB map. I mean, Fnatic, they're good at Inferno, but LGB has been playing very, very well, from what I've seen. And I think having a bad start like they're having now, I mean, they're on the easier side of the map. Having a bad start, that's not good for the self-confidence when you're a quite inexperienced team. You don't have a coach with you like Fnatic do. It's not good.
Well, we are seeing the C2 side with just pistols beside them, excluding Crims, who did manage to keep hold of that M4, and actually they're doing quite nicely with it. The danger of these pistol rounds is absolutely unreal, but we are seeing now just 3 standing. Once again, Fnatic fully executed on towards A. JW, Devilwalk, and Flusher alive, but Dennis is looking like he wants to come through here, and an 8 comes out, and Flusher does get tagged up, but obviously AK in hand, he's in a slightly better spot, really. Can they turn this around? They're still going for it, and LGB, we know they are talented Swedes, but right now Flusher dispatches him, but Sype does get the AK, finds Flusher. 2v2 now, they're going for this one. Devil comes around the back though, lovely timing, finding Crims there, and now 2v1. Sype, time to back away, I think he's going to get out there. He does keep the AK at least.
See, I like the way I cast that round. I think I created okay tension in my voice. Could have maybe used a little more pacing, but I think it was okay. I'm okay with that round.
Yeah.
And he might get an exit here.
Yeah, that was really smart play by Fnatic there. Even though they were a bit sloppy in the beginning of the round, JW is really low, and Devil Walk takes somewhat gamble, but a really smart play going around them, so they didn't give the LGB the chance to come back, because there were 2 players on full HP there. So they, I would say it was 50-50 chance for them, and it's a great job by Devil Walk there.
Yeah, and I do want to ask you, you just saw Khan behind Fnatic then. Yeah. If you were behind LGB right now, and you're obviously down on the slightly easier side, what would you be saying to them? You are the motivational guy. You're the one who kind of generally gets these guys pumped up. What would be the words that you tell them? Well,
basically, to play their own game. Don't be afraid because you're on a stage. Just play like you do normal matches and practice like it's any other game. And I think it's really important for Olaf Meister and Dennis, who I think are the 2 big stars in the team, that they start fragging, that they start feeling confident, that they feel like they're sitting pretty much at home or in...
See, to me, if there's... So, for example, at the end of last round, Heaton did already do some analysis on the pistol then, or not the pistol, but how they turned almost the pistol and Sype got away with an AK for himself. And then there's this little lull normally at the start, because Fnatic, as we've now noticed, do like these slower beginnings. They don't just necessarily go for these all-in plays. I wanted to fill that time by just asking Heaton a general question. So people might criticize it's not completely focused on the game then, but it's more just to give this kind of time a little bit of background story or something a little interesting from this. Put Heaton's personality towards it. So kind of an explanation as to why there. And I don't think that was a bad question. I hope I bring it back to the game soon enough, though.
Like yesterday or 2 days ago, sorry. Like they get into the mood. That's really important right now.
Let's see if they can find that form pretty damn soon. At the moment, Crims has got the opener there, finding Flusher. So
that was my connecting. That was my connection phrase, is let's hope they find that comfort soon. I understand I went for that. It was just more of a, to kind of transition his points into what's about to happen. So
great start coming out from LGB this time. They need to get 4 more players. We've got JW up, Schneider, Devilwalk, and Pronax all over by A. This time Flusher not going to be able to be down banana this time. So Maybe Crims and Sype have a little bit of relaxing time there, but Dennis has found Pronax. That's perfect start for him, and building that confidence up, running with that OP.
See, that's what I wanted to point out. I was hoping I was going to say something about his confidence, because he didn't just a couple of seconds ago brought up the fact that Olaf and Dennis are two players that you want to be performing, and it builds, and that, you know, if they get to that confidence stage, they can be really key star players, like he said. I'm glad I mentioned that, because I was sitting here thinking, like, okay, well, I should bring that up, but I'm glad I did. And it's always just to kind of, for me, I want to work on the points he makes as a caster, because he's got the content, I just kind of tell the story. So
missed the early exchange with JW, but they're making it work now on the site. Devilwalk, Schneider and JW have to pull side together. They are starting to push through here. A couple of tanks going. LGB fully set up. 40 seconds left. JW has found Olaf, however, so Fnatic certainly still dangerous as the push is going to be starting. But oh, like he's finding that form.
Yeah, it looks like he did in first rounds as well with his M4. I mean, they had some bad luck, had to do a lot of ecos, but right now it looks like he's on track with this.
I think that cut off the end of my sentence.
If he gets start landing his AWP shots, it's going to be crucial for them to get back in this game and maybe get, I mean, best case obviously 9 rounds, but something like 8 at least. I think they'll be fairly satisfied with, considering it's a quite balanced map at the moment.
It is. You know, I speak to a lot of teams, and you know, the one person who was a real advocate, I'll come back to that in a second. It looks like a nice aggressive start from LGB. They're getting that confidence there, peeking down towards Banana, getting the nade down, getting the spam down, picking up Schneider.
Also, I have a damn cold. I'm so nasally here. I know I've been casting a lot by this point, but dear lord.
And taking up Flusher and Pronax and getting away fairly unscathed. Only Crim's taking a touch of damage, but nice start from them. They're not giving Fnatic that freedom. They're really getting that pressure there now.
No, that's exactly what I talk about. Feeling confident, doing that stuff. You know, staying there and spraying those bullets. Like, if you're afraid, you're not going to do that. And now you got an entry frag for it, and managed to damage them quite a lot as well for just staying there. So perfect play, and they need to play like that.
Let's see if they can handle the pressure now, because it looks like Fnatic are flooding in. Dennis is on the rotate, but Crims needs to step up right now. He's got another kill on the board. Sype does the job as well.
I should have mentioned that bomb going down. Why on earth didn't I mention that?
Flusher, but still JW alive, and Pronax. JW has to hold on to this. He's at a huge deficit, but Pronax doing the work onto Devilwalk. Dennis even. And here we go. LGB, really well played then.
I fucked that round up. That was a bad round from me. I must have lost track at some point, or just didn't fully comprehend, or just, you know, if you fall out of sync with something. I think I fucked that round up a little bit. Didn't mention the bomb plant going down. That was quite important, and should have done more, I think. I think that was a little lacking.
And I've got to ask you the question, how come they just held on to that so well then?
I think they managed to do so much damage there when they actually had the guts to go out there and stand and spray, and 2 nades coming down the Banana. So I think it was like 250, 300, 250 HP in total that got removed from Fnatic. They felt confident, they smoked the bomb site, and Fnatic, they know they had to take a gamble. Smoked the bomb site, just rushed up and sprayed. I think it was pretty lucky that he didn't get killed there through the smoke. And I mean, so
See,
they were just...
The one thing I should have noticed was the money situation a little more here, and how important that round for the T side was. God forbid they didn't get that plant down, how they'd be really strapped for cash. I think I could have mentioned that more, and how important it was for the CTs to pick that up there. So something I could certainly work towards.
For hand, it should win that most of the times when they're attacking B bomb site there.
Well, we are seeing the scoreline getting quite close now. 4-6. It's looking a lot better for LGB now. Finding their confidence, finding their footing.
Yeah, and what's really important here as well is that Fnatic has Nikos. Normally this should be a quite easy round for LGB. And you can see they're starting building some money. You have 6,400 with 5.8 on Crims.
Well, it looks like they're going to be holding on to this for now. Nice work from Shiner and Pronax, though, taking down the 2B players. But Dennis is coming over the rotate. Devilwalk and Pronax still alive.
See, I'm glad he mentioned the money then. He kind of covered my mistake a little bit. I think my pacing's okay right now because I've kept it fairly low. I haven't over-hyped anything in regards to it just being a pistol.
Bomb is down, and they've got a little bit of time to get set up here. Devilwalk in a nice little spot, but he's only on 7 HP, so that really could hinder him in this. Pronax trying to just dance with the bullets. Nice shot from Pronax there, finding Olaf, bringing it back all even. Treacherous times, though, is so low. Dennis has found it, a lovely nade from Twist, just eliminate.
Lovely was a weak word. Should be using better vocabulary then. I could have built up a little more through the pacing, I think, and my tone. Should definitely work on that.
Fnatic. It was a close round, though.
Yeah, it was a really close round considering, but that's like we talked about before the game actually started. You know, the so-called eco rounds you have nowadays, really dangerous.
How true is that still? Jesus Christ, CSGO.
And you can see there, actually, Devilwalk is somewhat unlucky there because he tries to flank. I can't remember who it was running into the pool there, but he had one guy behind him as well. Otherwise, it would be some really clutch play there by him. He probably could have gotten at least one, allowing Pronax to come up big.
Sure, so 5-6. Score's getting close now. You know, LGB starting to build up that confidence, starting to look a little bit dangerous. And
I think I'm going on about that a little too much. I'll probably turn the attention to Fnatic now. Maybe ask Heaton a question on when does it start becoming a problem? When do they start remembering that poor performance through the groups? When do they start worrying Fnatic here? Because I'm focusing on LGB's confidence building up, and I get that, but I've mentioned it a lot now. I think I should have moved on and maybe mentioned something about Fnatic. You know, is the pressure going to start adding up? Is this the point? When's that break? You know, when's the straw going to break the camel's back? All this kind of stuff I think I could be maybe mentioning rather than just focusing on LGB. Even though it's the bigger storyline, I think I should at least counter it by mentioning something for Fnatic.
Fnatic look like their game style's kind of been worked out a little bit here. You know, that banana presence early on has been kind of pressured by the 2B players. They're getting that confidence. As you said, they're really starting to be happy to challenge, and it seems to be working out quite well. You know, we can see them backing away, but you know, Fnatic are getting pushed here. How do they adapt to this now?
They can't really do anything except try to wait them out, wait the smokes out. Inferno is like a map. You can smoke so many angles that you just have to sit and wait and be patient pretty much doing it. I mean, walking through smoke, it's suicide most of the time.
Not a great start for Dennis this time. He does miss the opening shot there as he's seen at least one T player making the way through towards CT Arch, but now we are seeing JW.
See, I much prefer it when I actually mention the places they're pushing as well. I feel I need to do it more because I've hardly mentioned the map. It's all just either talking to Heaton, which is fine, or just kind of describing the kills and the play around it and the numbers game. I think I need to mention the map a little more, the positioning in regards to it. You know, where are those crossfires set up? Where's their focal point? You know, who's the key factor into this one? Where are the T side pushing towards straight away? What are they smoking out? I think I could bring that up a lot more.
Schneider now going for him for the challenge. Nice shot from Dennis there. Does miss the follow-up, however. 1 HP has to back away, but Crims now surrounded. B, swift rotate from Fnatic, and Crims is behind 3 players. Crims in the perfect spot. He's going to spray down, get 1. Look for the second. Oh, he gets denied by Flusher. Snipe is still alive and kicking, however, and he's going to have to hold on to this because there's still Flusher alive with that bomb. We got Olaf and Twist on the rotate, but Schneider, once again, in a great spot. They're getting behind each other. These flanks are unbelievable, but Flusher, 2 in a row. Leaves Schneider up against Twist. The young, talented man of Twist has to go big here to bring this back all even. And
I think I should have compounded this a little more and left dead air. You know, the 1v1 going down. Should have maybe left a little bit more of this open kind of just leaving it there and just letting the kind of pressure of the situation build itself. I don't need to describe, you know, the intricacies. I should just leave this dead air, I think. Explain what I was saying about Twist, but then just give it a little more time to just build up.
Schneider is on the prowl, 27 seconds, bomb is loose. He's got to pick that up and plant it or go for the kill, up to him. Right now, you're seeing both on your screen. Twist backed off to...
And I love this feature, by the way. I'm not going to lie to you.
Towards Banana, he hears that bomb going down, sprays through, no connection. Bomb is down. Twist looking through the, around the smoke, trying to find a pixel of Fnatic. Schneider, flash coming in, doesn't actually flash him up, and you can see Twist is taking no chances here, and that bomb is starting to tick quite quickly. And here we go. Twist holds on for another round and brings it back all even, and that has got to do wonders for the confidence.
Yeah, that's going to make wonders for the self-esteem and everything. Winning that round. Twist, you can see him when we're playing before in tournaments. He's been either really good or sorry to say, but really bad. He's been like a hedgehog machine when it's on fire, and when it gets into the mood, it's real dangerous, and that's going to be really important for him for the rest of the match to actually make a clutch like that. I actually liked Schneider's play there. He's smoking him away, taking somewhat good after plant and trying to stall him, and just hoping for Twist to go through the smoke there, but it's experience enough not to do it.
I've got to say then, you know, players are getting behind each other at the moment. You know, everyone seems to be getting behind each other. We had Schneider around the back there. Is it just all these smokes, as you said? You know, they smoke out this map. There's so many opportunities to do it, I guess.
It is a lot of opportunities doing it, but it's pretty uncommon to see people doing it in that extent.
Times.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really interesting to see, and I'm actually a big fan of that. It was good.
For sure, and we are now seeing Olaf having to hold on as Fnatic are making their way towards the side. Nice play coming through, but he's not going to be landing these shots so easily. Finally gets it in the bag, a nice little pistol at the end there. Schneider goes down, and LGB are looking dangerous.
Yeah, they look like they're back on track now, getting a bit shaky start. And I think it's important that Olaf M gets in the mood as well. He's an amazing player.
I think we can kind of leave that there for now. So basically, you can. This is kind of what I would do after an event of some variety, where I'll just kind of go through my casting. Excuse my hair, I'm just kind of walked in, but I'll just go through my casting and do a review of the content I bring. I think I need to work on it a little bit from that one, looking back at what some of the stuff I said. I think a lot of the pacing could be slowed a little more, have it more as a conversational pace until the action starts and build up, and then you have it. I think that could be adjusted. But mostly, I think it's just I need to be a little bit more descriptive towards the map as well. Where are they playing towards? What's their intention? Where did they start out? Not analysis, just general plain kind of description about how these teams are going about their strategies. Because I'm very generic with it. I focus too much on the kills, I felt. And I think I need to kind of bring it back to a little bit more description. I need to maybe take it as more of a... I hate to say it, but, you know, back in the days when we used to do audio broadcasting, description was key. You had to tell the entire story, not just the kills, because that's nothing. That meant zero. I need to get that mentality, I think, and just kind of bring it back to that sort of level and just kind of explain, you know, where they're pushing. Are they going to hit up that CT arch? No, they're going to go round short instead. Actually, they've got a couple of players splitting in the apartments. Is it a 3-2 split at the start? Are they sending one up banana? You know, these generic things, but use them as filler. I used Heaton a lot in that to kind of buffer the time. And Heaton's a phenomenal co-cast, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there. He is absolutely awesome. But yeah, I think that there's a lot to work on from that. And it's certainly not going to be the first time I'm looking through these VoDs, let's be honest here. But it's something I'm going to definitely keep in the forefront of my mind coming into this. So that's pretty much my kind of review style of it. And I definitely need to work on some parts, and I think I can do that. I think it's more just making sure I'm noticing them. So guys at home, this is one thing I wanted to ask you guys as well. Do make sure you give me your feedback down in the comments below. It's always good hearing from you guys. Give me timestamps, and if you agree with what I was saying, if you actually think maybe a little differently, and let me know what you think. Obviously, some of the hype is a little higher just because it's in a big crowd. It's the quarterfinals, blah, blah. These factors come into it. But I think this is something that I wanted to actually do. For you guys at home. So you can see the process that I generally utilize. This is a bit of a different example. Obviously, I'm going through with you guys. Normally, I'd make notes in my beautiful, beautiful book. That's actually just from the ESL Euro series yesterday. But generally, if I'm doing my reviewing, I do try and take notes and just kind of find things that I can work on. What didn't I like about it? What did I like? What should I work on more? And I think I've got a couple of points out of this for myself. And I'm definitely going to try and do a couple of practice casts coming up again. I've obviously been casting since, and that's been quite some time ago, but just, you know, utilizing a little more description, being less afraid of using dead air, pacing a little slower, and then building better. I think they're not major issues, but they're certainly something I want to work towards. So guys, I do ask you at home, do make sure you leave your comments down below with your feedback as well, what you think towards the process, and actually, would you like more of these videos? Because I do this in pretty much every game I cast anyway, to an extent. I don't obviously vocalize it. I sit there at home and do it myself. And a lot of it as well, when you come to different style of shows, includes how you work at a desk, how you present yourself. Is your hosting ability up to scratch? That's one other thing that I could probably go through as well, which is more in regards to when I'm doing maybe the World of Tanks shows or something else where I'm hosting. As generally ESL 1, we leave it to the hosts to host, and then once it comes to the casters, we say hi, there's the lower third Twitters, you know, this stuff happens, and that's pretty much it. But when you're doing these kind of self-run shows, well, not self-run, but the more Studio One productions like we have downstairs, when they give you a lot more time and you have to intro the show, go through social media, bring up the lineups, go through map vetoes, and all these other kind of elements come in, there's a lot more work to it. And I have a lot of flaws, actually, in my hosting style. So if you'd like me to actually do more of this, kind of doing self-analyzing and then maybe putting up a cast so you guys can hear the difference, maybe you can give me a feedback as well. I do like hearing from you guys, and I do want you guys to get involved at home. It does make a difference to me. So thank you for watching. Do make sure you follow me on Twitter, They Call Me Pansy. As you saw in that lovely lower third, I just pressed a button of, this is how I produce shows. But yeah, do get involved. Do let me know. I do actually look forward to hearing back from you guys. So thank you for tuning in. When I turn off the stream. God.